All right, well, GM everybody. Good to see everyone. A few new faces. There's been quite a few new lords popping up in the last few weeks, which is great to see. Yeah, so I thought we'd just go over the roadmap and talk about settling and, kind of give you a bit of insight about what we're, kind of where we're at with StarkNet and kind of, I guess the progress that we're making, the architecture that we're designing and whatnot. So yeah, I mean, look, this 4,700 realms staked, which is pretty crazy. Hopefully we can get that up higher. I think there's still a lot of, um, and if anyone's got any good ideas, it's kind of hard to reach people that may have picked up a realm a few months ago, but I think the NFT, crypto market in general is just so noisy. They probably don't know we exist. Um, So if anyone's got any good ideas about how to lure those people back in, maybe the floor price will just naturally attract them, which I think it has in the last few weeks. Now that it has risen up, people are starting to take more notice, which is good to see. Um, but yeah, so this staking contract, we've explained it quite a few times, but basically, you just stake your realm and you receive 625 lords per epoch, full epoch staked. And we designed it this way just so everyone could minimize their gas costs and make it fair for everyone. There's a lot of staking contracts that um, the emissions are based off per every minute, um, and we just thought it was fair for everyone since everyone's around the world and everyone is probably in different ETH economic positions, that we try to make it fair for every lord that they can stake with their optimal gas. And gas is so annoying, and hopefully everyone managed to get in at a pretty low gas. I think I managed to get in at about 35 gas. So Sunday morning US is often the best time for this. So yeah. Um, so this is going to last for minimum 10 weeks. So what, we're already 2 weeks in now. And then after that, we will be migrating the realms to StarkNet. The actual specifics of the onboarding onto StarkNet haven't been released yet, but we will release them closer to the date. But it'll be a smooth user experience. So yeah, I mean, this is all everyone can read all these, but it's all, I think everybody here understands everything that's going on. So yeah, does anyone want to have any questions about this before we move on to the roadmap and I start explaining more about kind of what we're doing? Just start talking. There's not much of us.
I did have a quick question. So
Yeah,
with
sure.
missions, does it have a cost to the Realms team at all? Are we having to pay gas for emissions on StarkNet
So
or
when's it?
anywhere?
So what was the first part of that question?
So sorry, I have bad connection. I'm on my right now. Can you do? Is there cost to the Realms team every time there's a big emission every week?
You mean on currently with this contract?
Yes.
No. So it's all on chain. So it's all based on a timestamp. So as soon as this ticks over, basically, the contract calculates how many realms you've got staked and multiplies that by how many epochs you haven't claimed, multiplies that by 625. And so there's no gas cost to us to do this. No. Um,
Oh,
yeah, it's all fully done on chain. Yeah, we Red and we've other projects do that, but Red and I we just try to do 100% of stuff on chain because, well, firstly, airdrops are they're expensive to do, and there's no point paying unnecessary gas. So it's all these little, tricks that developers can do to, minimize gas. Um, and even just calling an action to, um, distribute to say that a user has X amount of realms, lords to claim, does cost gas too. So this way, you don't even have to claim. You can claim on week 10, and it's going to cost you the same amount of gas as it costs you. Maybe a little bit more, but a tiny bit more than what it costs you to claim each week. But it's still cheaper if you just claim once at the end.
And it's much more secure in some ways as well, because we can't just issue lords to whoever we want based on some Merkle tree distribution. So it's all verifiable on chain and how that distribution occurs.
Yeah, exactly. Any other cues about any of this stuff? Nope. All right. Well, I think quite a few of us here have been around since the alpha. But for those of us, that are new to this project, basically what we did in October and November was we designed this entire game on Arbitrum, on Arbitrum, and it was an alpha kind of proof of concept explaining, totally on-chain game state. And you would have seen it like a few on-chain games around the place, like the Wolf game and whatnot. But they're not. We don't really see them as games. They're more just like gamified staking contracts in a sense. Like they're not. It's really just it's a game of chance. You stake and you withdraw, and you get a chance of stealing something. So what we tried to do, or what we did do on Arbitrum was create this fully fledged strategy game where you earn all your resources, you can claim them, and you can build up your armies and buildings all on chain. So every bit of data is on chain. But we realized that the gas costs, even though Arbitrum's quite cheap, being I think a token swap's like $3 or $4. But a token swap's fairly gas. It's not that gas intensive. And the more complexity you get with games and actions, the higher the gas costs become on any EVM type chain. And by EVM I mean Ethereum, Arbitrum, Optimism. They're basically running a Ethereum virtual machine, which the way it like compiles and processes transactions, the computation requires more computation the more complex your functions are. And to actually make a functioning game, like a real fun game, you need some pretty complex functions. So we made the call to pivot the whole game direction to Starknet. And so the difference between Starknet and EVM chains is that Starknet's a zero knowledge rollup, and by that it uses a different compiling and verifying process. And so basically, the bigger the function is, so say for example, say we design a complex PvP contract that is 2,000 lines of code. That will compile every time you call that transaction. Well, that will every time you call the transaction, that will run. But instead of and when it runs, it will just generate this like tiny little proof, and that little proof is the thing that gets verified back onto Ethereum. And so it doesn't matter if the function is 100 lines or 10,000 lines. Basically, that cost of the proof is the same. And so our thesis is that zero knowledge is where all the main on-chain games is going to happen, because they just can't really happen on an EVM. I mean, Arbitrum and Optimism are going to they're going to serve their place for easy swaps and very primitive type games. But any like complicated game is going to have to run on a zero knowledge proof rollup. So yeah, it's a little ZK rant. But anyway, that's why we're doing what we are doing. And so right now we're kind of redesigning the contracts which we wrote on Arbitrum to work on StarkNet. And StarkNet is early, like it's a very new technology. It's evolving very fast, but it does come with its own little sets of challenges. But the payoff will be great because, like I explained before, it allows us to make much richer experiences all on chain, and that's kind of been our thing from the beginning. We want to create this open economic game system where we build this macro element of the game, which is the realms, and they're the productive assets. But other developers can come along and build on top of these contracts that we design, and the fungible tokens, like the resources, they can consume them. And so you can only do that if all your data's on chain. And so you can see, projects like Immutable X and whatnot, and they're great projects. But a lot of the games that's been designed on them are really just like off-chain games utilizing, on-chain NFTs. So all the game engine and game state is all still running on centralized servers. That's how you create a really nice flashy game like Illuvium, which is probably going to be a really fun game. We're just taking the different direction. But Illuvium, the NFTs will be able to be traded on a marketplace for someone, but like other people. But like you wouldn't be able to create a new module for Illuvium if you're a random developer. And so we want to create this system where new developers can actually just build modules on top of this whole realmverse. And so that's why the game state and all the information needs to be running, on chain. So the first thing that we're building actually everything kind of in tandem, but at the moment, but we want to just keep releasing things instead of just aiming for the final game, because the final game's fairly complex. It's quite complex, so we're building things as we go that are more short-term achievable for the project. And so the first thing we're doing is building this mini game, which is a this needs to be updated. We've kind of we've changed our direction for this mini game a bit. The mini game is basically going to be a we'll release a lot more information on this in the next few weeks, but it's a tower defense game that we're working on with actually the Divine DAO as well. And the mechanics of this game will basically be a primitive version of what we hope to do in the whole PvP element of the main game. And so we're trialing a bunch of new things on this minigame. And it will be the first version is going to be pretty simple, entirely on-chain tower defense game with like a light versus dark element. And all Lords holders or Realm holders will be able to play that game for free. But if you don't hold Lords or Realms, then you're probably going to have to pay something to play it. So it'll be beneficial to all Realms and Lords holders, this game launching. And it's just a lot short-term achievable than the main game to release all at once. And the kind of the contract that we use for it will be reused in the main game as well. So that's the first thing that we're going to be doing.
I think just before we move on, I think we need to give a big shout out to Lord Uniten, Defy, and Zeldon, who have been doing some really good work on this mini game so far. So thanks to your work, guys.
Yep, they've been steaming ahead and taking charge on this mini game. And if anyone's curious about, if anyone's curious about looking at some StarkNet code, you can have a look at the repo and dive in and read away. You can even compile it yourself and play around with it if you like. So that's kind of what we're steaming ahead with at the moment, and we're also working on the StarkNet bridge at the same time. which is not that complicated. We're just waiting on Starknet to with a couple more features of Starknet to totally finalize that, which are coming in the next couple of weeks. And then after that, we're going to be doing the like a native NFT marketplace on Starknet. And to my knowledge, this is the first native NFT marketplace that's being designed. I've been talking to the Starknet developers, and I think some people have been talking about it, but this is the first one that, in my knowledge, that is actually being built right now. And so it'll be denominated in Lords, and so you'll be able to trade realms for like less than $1. Trade realms for less than $1 on this marketplace. It'll be completely permissionless as well, so everything will be on chain. It'll also give it will create a nice token sync for the Lord's token, and will allow new players to come and buy these realms directly on Starknet, which we believe will, create a whole new cohort of players to come on. And then the main game should be kind of, late-ish Q2, which will, it's similar to the alpha. But there's probably going to be some more elements, and we're going to evolve it a bit more, and we'll release some more information on that down the track. And same with AMM and the PvP. These will probably come at basically the same time. And then down the line, what I was saying before about the interoperability between, being everything on chain. And so we're really trying to just foster this. I guess this what's the best way to describe it? If the main game will, is a macro element of the, of the realmverse. Like the realms are the productive assets, and once that economy gets going, there's actually economic incentive for, external developers to come along, and they don't even have to ask our permission. They can just write a contract that says, I want to take in, rubies and diamonds, and I output, and it outputs, a special NFT, and then in return they get, it might cost 100 Lords to do that, and so then the 100 Lords goes to that developer. So it's much like, in the real world economy, making a business, right? You make a business because you want to make a return on whatever goods you're selling. And so this is basically a permissionless economy that anybody can come along and write these things. And so that element of it, and all the infrastructure that we're building, and like the almost like an API in a sense, will make it easy for people to do this and explain it all. And then so with that, all these modules just get added to the economy, and as a player, you can choose to interact with whatever one you want. Yeah, so that's basically the updated roadmap. Anyone got any questions about any of those parts? Nope. All right. Well, I think I just there's probably a lot of discussion around Lords and what its what's its utility in the whole realmverse, and so I just made this flowchart to kind of explain a bit more about the the utility of it and trade of it and how it flows between parts of the economy. And so yeah, it's all centered around the. Someone say something. So it's all centered around obviously the Bibliotheca DAO, and there's commission from the AMM and the NFT market that feed back into it, which then we provide as grants for potentially new contract developers, and whatnot. And we'll probably include some other loot derivatives in the marketplace after launch. It's yet to be decided how they will work. But that's definitely something that we're designing the marketplace to allow. And so we really hope this, this market to be the go-to place for all realm, all loot stuff on Starknet.
Hey, can you hear me? All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so 404 had a good suggestion. He mentioned updating the details on OpenSea under the realms to notify holders of staking.
Good idea. Yeah. All right. I think haven't we done that?
Yeah, we wrote one. Just
I think we updated it just before the staking. Yeah, sorry, the last last week with holidays and everything. But yeah, that's a good idea. We'll do that today.
And I think somebody else had a question.
Yeah, I was first of all, thanks. This is my first AMA or whatever chat jumping in. So I'm relatively new. And so I'm intrigued by all of this and super excited to learn and all of that. Do you guys anticipate, and I understand that not alliance, but the way the different derivatives work together is loosely not governed in any way, but do you guys anticipate lords being kind of the currency for a lot of the other derivatives as well? Or is there conversation, or how do you guys envision kind of this all coming together, over the next year?
Well, like Lords isn't going to have much utility on mainnet other than trading it, just because utility on mainnet can't really do it. So and we're kind of leading the charge with this whole Starknet build. So, and for a functioning economy, we need a reserve currency, which is the Lord's token. So the marketplace will be denominated in Lords. It might, maybe down the line, there might be another currency that it gets like for a specific derivative that can get traded in, but I think for now everything on the marketplace is going to be denominated in Lords. So yeah, we are talking with a lot of the other derivatives, like Genesis Project, and but we're I guess we're kind of setting the framework. And as I said before, Starknet is relatively new, and there's a few other teams that I'm talking with. I think they're in stealth mode right now. Actually, Crypts and Caverns. Not Crypts and Caverns. The Crypt game. I've talked to Crypts and Caverns as well. I think every kind of NFT project is in a bit of limbo right now. Or any NFT project that's like trying to be a game, because everything has to be done on layer 2 for it to be half usable. So, but yeah, we're encouraging and we're actively talking with a lot of derivatives that are very interested in Starknet. I think we're just trying to build this to show how to do it, and we'll help them do it in the future. But it's shaping up like what I said before. I'm not sure if you heard at the very beginning about why we've chosen Starknet, but it will become clear to people that to build actual games, you got to be running on a ZK rollup.
But I don't think we're positioning the Lord's token to be sort of the token of the lootverse or anything. We'd see it more as being interoperability with the other projects.
Makes sense. Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And I mean the way that I see these interoperability between projects and their tokens is when token swaps become so cheap, then like on Starknet, that say someone else comes along and builds a lootverse type derivative on Starknet, then as a realm lord and a lord's holder, you'll be able to easily just instantly swap in lords and another token if you want, and go into that game, or and any other game for that matter.
Yeah, that makes sense. I was not here at the very beginning, so I didn't hear that part. But yeah. I think I'm slowly capturing kind of the vision of what you guys are building, and being the front runner or the first person into Starknet and all of that. The success of this will, in other words, if it's successful, then it should draw other projects and other people eventually into it as space as well.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, that's our hope, and it's shaping up to be that way in terms of encouraging other developers. It's just, I think every developer is slightly hesitant to learn a new coding language.
Sure.
Yeah, but ultimately they will. They just need a little push.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I would also like to point out you could almost consider resources as almost like a derivative token that would be kind of under the umbrella of Lords. So if you're looking for like something further branching, you can look to the resources as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, 404 here. Will the NFT marketplace take any fees?
Yeah, there'll be a fee on it that will go feed back into the treasury.
And then the fee would be in Lords as well?
Correct. Yes.
Good. Perfect. That's good.
Yeah.
We would likely just charge the 5% royalty fee.
I'm not seeing that 5 commission in Lords. Okay. I was looking
Yeah.
at the graph. Thank you.
Yeah.
You mentioned that marketplace is a token sink. Does that mean the Lords are actually burned, or
Yeah. So I didn't mean them as a burning sink. I just meant that it's a use case for them. Sorry, maybe the wrong analogy there. I guess it gives them immediate usage to buy and sell realms at basically zero gas.
just been wondering? I mean, what do you think the biggest challenges are over the next few weeks? Just in terms of not just the technical part, but just the community and where we need to be. Yeah, just in general, I guess.
I think we have the tech side down. I think we definitely need to focus more on the I guess community building. I think the core devs and myself, we've just been deep head down in designing and working out this game. So I think that's definitely one part of the project that is lacking. Is probably the community development side and probably the marketing, but we haven't really focused on the marketing side just yet, just because we want to market the project correctly rather than just pure no substance hype. So yeah, I mean, I think that's the one thing that we need to nail down a bit better. But other than that, we're chipping away at the contracts and the technology side of things. So we'll have some more things to release, like the minigame in the next in January.
Probably some more artistic assets.
Yeah.
Something we need to focus on a bit more as well. Needs to be a bit more of a sort of style direction for the project as a whole and the individual assets that we need.
Definitely. With the artistic direction, hit me up. I've got a lot of contacts from my old job, and I can see if I can get some people wrangled up for us. Like I said, I have a lot of connections from back when I was in the industry for a while.
Awesome. All right, we will.
I'm not sure if you guys have if I don't want to take us too far off course, if you've got a direction that you want to go with this, but again, like I've said 1,000 times, but I think what you guys are doing is awesome. And I wouldn't necessarily call it like a shortfall that there hasn't been a lot of marketing. I actually think it's one of the project's best strengths. It's been really build heavy and marketing light. And the growth that we've had has been, I really like seeing like this just kind of steady churn over for the people who actually have kind of stumbled across the project and have liked it. But I have been thinking about the marketing and kind of maybe more organic ways to get it going. And the profile picture project that we were talking about a bit ago, I guess I'm wondering what the status is on that. I'm in another project I follow, Blocky Dojis, and you know, I've just seen a lot of traction. Like, is it, I used to have that as my profile picture, and a couple other people that are in the Punks channel, which really is kind of like the crossroads, I think. Correct me, anybody, if you disagree, of kind of like what comes in and what goes out style. And, a few different people ended up hopping into the project, and then, you get conversations going there, and then traction starts happening. And really the only two things that I've been in this micro bear that have done well has been the Blocky Dojis, but also Realms has been going up, which I think is just such a strong testament to like the foundation that's there. So question, how are we doing on that? Well, what is the status on the profile pictures? Because if we could all be rocking Lord's profile pictures, that itself could be a good marketing tool.
Yeah, for sure. No, I totally agree. I think that it's just kind of been it hasn't really evolved since those initial discussions. I think I've been focusing on the other things, but if anyone wants to get that chat going or come up with some artistic directions, then we can figure out a way to get that side of the project moving. And I think collectively from we can easily do it all. We just need to come up with a I guess artistic direction that we all like, or we hire someone to do it. But from a technology side of things, it's pretty trivial to do. So I think it just needs to be executed. It just hasn't been high on my list of priorities because I've been focusing on the technology side of things. And I think I probably talk with all the developers on that regard as well. But yeah, I think that's a great way to get the Lords out there without doing sketchy marketing. There's so much of that in this space.
So if I ever saw a Realms post that said, if retweet this, like it, and enter for an airdrop of, it would be the worst. So
Yeah.
I'm glad you guys are not doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to suggest that you guys should be doing more than you are. I think you guys are doing incredible. So if those are things that we can help you guys with, so it sounds like it's pretty technologically easy to get the profile pictures going, even on chain. But like, what are they going to look like? Artistic direction and just kind of motivation to make it happen. Is that kind of what you need from us?
Yeah, I think on chain is still it's still tricky to do. It can be done, but also the other kind of thing that I think I got stuck on. I think we all probably got a bit stuck on is, what are they tied to each realm, or like are they their own standalone project? Because if they're tied to each realm, that's going to make it super tricky for layer 1 and layer 2, because the realms exist on both states. And then to have another token that's linked to 1 and 2 makes it tricky. And then if it's on chain, Starknet's a little limited in SVGs, what it can do on chain compared to mainnet. So these things might just have to exist on mainnet, which is totally fine because they don't really have specific game state on them. They're more just visual elements. I guess those are the things that need to be decided. They're probably the blocker at the moment. The easiest thing would be something that's standalone, like 8,000. They could be like based off realms, like all 8,000 realms, as in like they take in the names, and that's the name of the Lord, and the resources. But tying them specifically to a realm, I think, is going to be a challenge.
I think that specifically may be overreaching on scope for something as simple.
Yeah.
The div is simple, right? So
yeah, but no, I really like that idea. And I'm all for it. We just need to decide on an artistic direction and then do it. We could even hire some artists if there's no one in the community, or someone in the community. We can pay someone in the community to do it, because it is going to be quite a bit of work. And they do need to be pretty slick. We don't want to do a half-assed job on them either.
Absolutely. Let's just not do it at all or do it great.
Exactly, yeah. They need to have some cool, unique art direction on them. And I think there is, I haven't seen another project that's like about lords or kings or stuff, but I think they could be quite cool.
Is that
Sure,
something
sure.
we could? Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I'll try to get some conversation going on that and poke around, see if I can help move that forward a little bit.
Great. Thank you.
Do you think that that's something we could put up art style direction after you discuss it with the rest of the devs? That's something you could put to a community poll so we could get a feel for that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not. We haven't. I don't think us as the devs we've discussed an art direction of that specific project. So I think maybe the community can just start dropping ideas, and we can build on from that. My vision is like some kind of side profile, almost like the coin. I think we discussed that. Yeah, like I think you dropped that side profile and on. So yeah, I mean, I think anyone's got interesting ideas, just drop it in there, and then we can build out from there. And then if we all decide on something, then we can commission someone to do it. And we can just do like a free mint for all realm holders, and if they don't get all minted after 2 weeks, then there's some mint fee, and that mint fee gets split between the artist and the DAO or something.
Has StarkNet provided any economic incentive to develop on them, and if they do in the future, what would be used with those funds?
Yeah, we're in talks with them at the moment about that. It really depends on the scale of the project. They're probably going to give us some like small grant without much questions asked. But they do bigger grants, and they've already actually discussed potentially investing in the project itself. But it's still, I think they're quite busy, and it's a little hard to get hold of them, as I'm sure they're quite busy. But if we did get a grant, it would go into the Biblio DAO, and we would probably do some. I really like the ideas of bounties on specific contracts. So it would probably do a bounty to do an AMM written in Cairo or something like that, to just to take some load off the core developers and get some things growing in tandem. I mean, I also one thing I really want to do in the new year too is do like some kind of StarkNet hackathon based in Loot, and we could probably like lead that project, and I don't know, maybe do like a weekend hackathon that you need to build something that interoperates with the Realm game, and with like a couple of ETH as a reward or something. And it's amazing what can come out of a hackathon. But yeah, all that funding is going to go into the DAO, which then will be allocated in what way the DAO seems necessary.
Which, just following on from that, looks like the Loot proposal has been approved to distribute those funds, which I think is 8.5 ETH that we're going to receive. So we'll probably be putting out some more bounties like that to advance the more ecosystem-based features, like the searching of the other derivatives and so on.
And just how is the financial health of the project? Are we okay?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've got like 16, well, 20 ETH in the DAO. Well, some of that ETH is we used to set up the initial liquidity pool. It's probably a good time to talk about liquidity pool as well. I forgot about that. We used some of that ETH to set up the initial liquidity pool, in Uniswap. So obviously that's still liquidity owned by the DAO. But in terms of rest of the funds, the core developers are going to get remunerated in tokens, in Lords tokens. So it's our incentives are tied to the project. And myself, I'm going to be working full time on this until for the long foreseeable future, because I want to grow this economy as big as we can get it. So yeah, there's no problems with financials at the moment, and we have been there's definitely a lot of interest with external investors into the project, but we haven't obviously taken any external investment just at this time. We don't really need it just yet, and we want to release some more kind of features before we go down that route, if we do go down that route. And if we did go down that route, obviously it'd be a community decision about how that would happen. But we're definitely positioned in the right time, right place right now. There's a lot of interest in Starknet, and there's a lot of interest in blockchain-based games. And there's a lot of capital sloshing around the crypto market, as I'm sure everybody knows. So
should we talk about the incentives?
Sorry, yeah, incentive pools. Yeah, so we're Red and I we're just putting the final bits on these this LP incentive pool, which will be based on the Uniswap pool, and you'll be able to just deposit your LP token into this contract and start earning Lords every second. We'll release some exact details on that in the next day, but yeah, we definitely it's going to be up this week. We're just doing some finalizing some things. Any other questions about anything? DM, I see you're on the call. I don't want to put you on the spot, but do you want to do a quick chat about the biomes?
Hey, Lof, yeah, thanks. I think I joined. I don't know how long you guys have been going for already.
I've been going for about half an hour.
Okay. Yeah, I have some catching up to do. Anyway, yeah, update on the realms. I had some really long train moves this weekend, but yeah, I'm actually, the last update was about generating a larger batch of 200 realms. I had to set up I don't know, some scripts, but I'm really hoping to output some more renders, how they're gonna be in the final images.
Amazing. Yeah, for those of you that don't know, DHAM's been working for the last couple of months on upscaling the maps into Voxel maps. So he's built a pretty crazy pipeline that takes in the SVG and outputs a 3D voxel map. And so these are the maps that I think if you go to the voxel map channel, you can see some of the iterations of it. And so this is what your realm will turn into when you settle it in the game. And because they're voxel maps, well, what we can do with them is basically limited to what we can do with voxel maps. So we should be able to create some VR walkthroughs using those maps, all in the browser. And I think there was that other project on Starknet called, what's it called? Blocks. Bricks. Yeah. Those guys are doing something cool, using voxel bricks, but running this kind of engine on Starknet where you can mine and create these bricks. So I think those guys are on holidays, but I remember talking to them, and I'm hoping that we can do some kind of collaboration in the future and use their contracts to potentially, mine and kind of construct your own voxel maps.
Make blocks of wood out of the wood.
Yeah,
bricks
blocks of wood and
then
whatnot.
place them on your map.
Yeah, but that's early days. I think that those guys are just in alpha as well. I think they're part of this community. They're hanging around somewhere, but I don't think they're on the call.
Yeah, I think we should. We need to scale up a bit before it's on the same dimensions of a realm. I think the editor had like 8x8 blocks. So for that detail, that will be quite in the future, but it would be really cool. I think maybe as an intermediate, maybe it's like it would be interesting to like paint roads or make connections, or like see ships like go through the ports, depending on the trade contracts with other realms.
Mm-hmm.
But like more like maybe the macro stuff comes first, but then at the end, you should be able to go down to voxel level.
Yeah, amazing.
And does this pipeline that allow us to scale visually even further if we wanted to at a later date, kind of doing the same intermedium translation you did from SVGs to voxel? Would it be possible to go from voxel to even a higher res medium in the future?
Well, I think you have to take like one step back and just use the height maps. And well, the thing is, the height maps you can scale them around and interpolate between terrain, so you can make like even more detail. Or when you get to the for example the ray tracing engines and stuff like that. Yeah, I think from that point on, you can use your height maps and maybe create some more textures.
Yeah, also we'll probably make those height maps like in the bundle you get when you settle the realm. You get the voxel map, but maybe we split the files into the height map, so then the next person can come along and whack that height map into a as you said, DM, like some other renderer. Maybe like a massively upscaled Unity engine or something. Which will still work because like all those engines use height maps. So, but
that was kind of the train of thought that I was having.
Yeah, that'd be wild. Yeah, Dham and I's our mission is, because obviously we've never met in real life, is to meet in VR in a realm. That's our goal.
Yeah, I will buy a headset for that.
Yeah.
Also, the other cool thing is if you want some more land, or if you want to draw like the shape, the land around your realm, you just have to draw some paths in SVG, and then it should go through the same process of the engine. So
amazing.
If you can connect the edges of the lines, and like the sea is the sea and the land is land, you can just zoom out.
Amazing. Any other cues while we're on topic, or about anything about the whole project, or just?
Did we already mention the icon competition?
Yeah, we did talk about that. Oh,
okay.
Sorry, I haven't talked about the icon competition actually. Sorry. So there is an icon competition running at the moment. For those that don't know, if you look in the icon channel, so these will be the icons that will be voted on for the actual Lord's token icon. Some great entries in here. So if anyone's got any, I think we're running it until the 31st, I think. So if anyone's got any artistic direction or just wants to have a stab, go ahead. I have submitted Lords to CoinGecko, by the way. So hopefully it pops up in the next few days. If anyone's interested.
Lord, do you know what the prize is for winning the Lord's Icon competition? Maybe it's cool to share.
Yeah, there's a realm to win, which is, what is it? ID 7526.
All right, yeah.
And Eternal Glory, that your icon is used on the project.
Yes, CoinGecko swag.
Yeah.
Did we hit everything that you wanted to hit tonight, Lord?
Yeah, I think we've unless is there anything else on any of the other core devs want to drop anything?
I get actually I'm something on my mind from the biomes.
Oh yeah.
For the maps. So I just drew up like 8 biomes, and then each biome is connected with 1 or 2 links, but desert and Arctic, like ice, it's never connected, but for example, grasslands and desert are connected. But I just like thought about 8. Is there any way, like, yeah, of course I will present them in a like maybe like an overview, but I must say that I'm really open to input of coloring, or if people have really cool ideas that could tie in with the larger loot universe. Like maybe desert does not make sense, maybe something else.
Maybe like some lava,
yeah,
land, lava land or something.
Stuff like that. Like I'm really open.
Have you got that flowchart you showed me the other day? Maybe that'll help people to visualize it a bit more.
Oh, did I forward it to you on Figma?
I think you showed me on Figma, yeah.
I think. I'll just drop.
To take metadata from the realms themselves and have specific biomes per like houses of light, houses of dark. Would that be a possibility?
Yeah. So yeah, of course. But what's your idea of like, what's a light biome? What vegetation does it have? What's a dark biome? Are you thinking more swamp and just like really nice butterflies, or?
Yeah, I can get a document written up for you if you'd like. And I'll push it to you and the rest of the community later.
Yeah, that would be really cool. There's a Voxel Maps channel. I also just posted the overview I have at the moment.
Yeah, I think there's got to be a lava land.
Okay.
Maybe like after desert or something. maybe like super rare, like goes like desert into Mordor or something. Yeah, type area with like volcanoes and shit.
Yeah, I've been like a high school presentation kind of biome set. This is not really the like fully fantasy injected biome set. So yeah, if there's vibe for that, yeah, of course.
Tundra with like dragons nests or something.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, cool. Nice work with all that. Yeah, cool. Well, I think we covered everything we want to do. We'll get more back into swing of doing these every couple of weeks. I think the last few weeks we've just been head down, redesigning these Caro contracts. But yeah, I think moving forward, let's plan to do one of these every fortnight, and we'll give you a devlog of what's going on. And yeah.
All right. Have a good night. The rest of you lords. I'm gonna spend most of the night with my family, so I'll see you
Alright.
guys around on Discord.
Thanks, Kat. Yeah, all right. Well, we'll just end it there. If no one's got any other questions, and everyone have a nice day. And GN.
Yeah, and thanks. Thanks, everybody.
All right. See you guys. Bye bye.
See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.